Guys, it is best ball season. Welcome to the Fantasy and Frames Best Ball Show. I am your hostess with the mostest, Stacy Perez. And guys, I am here tonight with the best ball queen, Miss Stephanie Miller. Tonight, we are going to be doing a live best ball draft. We'll be walking you through our process, talking strategy behind our picks. Who's ready to get started draft? Let's go. Hey everybody, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel over on YouTube. Make sure to head on over to fantasyandframes.com for more awesome fantasy football advice from the whole crew here at Fantasy and Frames. Make sure to draft with us tonight. If you have time, you can do it. You can jump in. Guys, we are over on Underdog. You can find that link over on the Fantasy and Frames Twitter account. You can find it down on YouTube as well. Make sure to jump on in. If you can draft tonight with us, that would be amazing. We would love to have you. Guys, tonight, like I promised, we've got the lovely, the talented Stephanie Miller drafting with us tonight. Stephanie, welcome. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Stacy. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm super excited about getting this draft started.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So, guys, for those of you that don't know Stephanie, she is in Frisco, Texas. She is a huge Cowboys fan. DFS was her first intro to the fantasy world. And since then, she has just gone into all sorts of different things. She's playing in several Dynasty leagues. She's commissioning 2 Dynasty auction best ball leagues. She started playing best ball back in 2020 with Underdog and DraftKings. And last but definitely not least, she finished 4th place in the 2022 DraftKings Play Auction Best Ball Tournament. So she is definitely going to be here to share her knowledge, share her wisdom with us tonight. Everybody take a look over on Underdog. If you are jumping in, we are going to be in the $5 12 person that is on right now. There should be a couple people in there. Hopefully some more very soon. So make sure to jump on in and get started. Guys, this is going to be 12-team Superflex tonight. Going to be a 20-man roster, 12 bench spots, half PPR scoring with a 30-second clock. So Stephanie, where do you prefer to draft in these?
Well, I always hope that I can get one of the front spots, especially in Superflex, but it does not always work out that way. So sometimes I end up getting a back spot, which makes it a little more challenging, especially in Superflex where the quarterbacks go first, and having an elite quarterback, which there's not very many of, is going to make a big difference.
Yeah, only a handful of those elite guys. Who would you consider to be like an elite quarterback?
Really, probably Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes. I'll still go ahead and say Fields and Burrow and Jackson as long as he plays. And I'll put Herbert in to the point. After that, I'm probably going to go with a position player.
Okay. So speaking of Jackson, does it scare you into not taking him in these best balls right now, at least until his situation is sorted out?
I'm still going to take him. I think most of the time it just depends. I probably will take him at the end of that tier.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, his ceiling is just so high that if he does play for anybody,
Yeah.
it's still going to help you.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be Baltimore. I mean, if he's playing for any team, if he's definitely going to play, then I definitely want him on my team. With that ceiling that he's got, it has worried me a little bit in doing some of these drafts so early in the season with all of his drama going on with Baltimore. It's definitely kind of scared me into taking him. So I definitely think I would rather take some other guys first before I get to him, at least until that's sorted out. But I definitely agree with all your elite quarterbacks. And guys, just so everybody knows, this is a random draft order. If you haven't drafted it on Underdog before, it's all randomized right before. It looks like we're only waiting on 6 other people. So if you're out there, you're listening and you haven't joined us, I don't know what you're doing. Join right now. Jump onto Underdog. It's a lot of fun. It's only $5. It'll be a good time for all of us here. So, Sammy, I know you do a lot of these. You do a lot of volume with your best ball. So do you have like a particular strategy that you prefer as far as, how like what you're thinking, how you're going to build your team every time you go in, or how are you putting that together? How are you going into these drafts with what mindset?
I try to not have too much of a preconceived idea when I go into drafts. I like to take what the drafts give me, so to speak, um, depending on where I'm at. But there's always still a basic structure
Mhm.
you should follow. I mean, for Superflex that we're doing now, I'm going to take anywhere from 3 to I have taken 5 quarterbacks. That's pretty unusual. Running backs, I'm going to be taking um, 5 to 7. Wide receivers, I'm going to be taking the lowest, probably 6 up to 8. I don't really I sometimes take 9, but in this format with only starting 2,
Mhm.
I probably not gonna I try not to. And then with tight ends, I'm going to take 2 to 3, depending. I know I've seen some people take 4. I tend not to do that at the 1C position, even though I guess you could start an extra tight end, but I don't like to put them in my flex in this format so much.
Yeah, I see the pounds.
Maybe if
Oh,
you have
sorry.
them. Oh no, I was gonna say maybe if it was a tight end premium, but
Oh, I see the pound is in. Thank you. We are still waiting on 5 more people. Um, Chris B with just trolling me over here. I know, go Leafs go. It makes me ill to even say those words as a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. Shout out to the Tampa Bay Lightning. I know this is a football podcast, but it is hockey playoffs. And if you were in Tampa Bay, I better see your face down at Amalie Arena tomorrow night and be rowdy as you can be to support our team. So blow Leafs blow is what I have to say to you, Mr. Chris. Stephanie, I just want to go back about the tight ends. Um, I think if I'm going to take 4, it's probably in a situation where I've waited on tight end maybe, and I don't necessarily have one of those elite guys. And I'm kind of like putting it together patchwork and just hoping that one of these guys hits because tight end is just like such a wasteland. I think at least last year anyway. But yeah, normally, especially if I've got one of those top guys, like I'm only taking 2 or 3, definitely in this format.
yeah, I mean, I still prefer to try to get an elite tight end. I think it helps your advance rate.
Mhm.
I mean, that's always been, and it really superpowers kind of any structure you go with.
Yeah.
But on these drafts, especially the 20 rounds, there are times if I miss out or I don't want to reach for whatever reason, if I don't get an elite, I'm going to wait till towards the end to kind of do the patchwork. I I try not to go too heavy in the middle
Yeah.
because it's so hard to know who's going to hit and who's not,
Exactly. I mean, unless your name is
if you're
Travis
not
Kelce. Yeah.
exactly.
Unless you're Travis Kelce, it's so difficult. I mean, even like Mark Andrews last year, I mean, he was hurt half the season. You're trying to find somebody last minute to throw in to replace him. So, I mean, I think it's for me anyway, it's Kelce right up here, and then it just drops off after that. Fantasy dysfunctional. Hello to you. I hope you have jumped in our draft. Hope everybody's jumping in our draft. But Steph, what do you think as far as like forget Kelce because we all know he's number 1, numero uno. Like after that, how are you ranking out these tight ends?
Well, obviously, like we said, Kelsey, and then I still have Mark Andrews as my second,
Mhm.
and then I really like Hawkinson a lot. I think he can take some steps forward this year. After like week 9, I think it was. I mean, his volume was just nuts.
Right.
And even though his depth of target went down, his ADOT a little bit, I mean, just the volume he got was ridiculous. So he's one of my favorite players. Another guy, if I do wait a little while, I like Nojoku
Oh
quite a
yeah.
bit.
I'm a big Njoku fan this year too. Absolutely. I think the Cleveland defense or not defense, the Cleveland offense rather is going to be something to watch out for sure. But yeah, I'm a huge Njoku fan. Like if I haven't gotten one of those guys, he's definitely somebody I'm targeting as far as my tight end this year. No doubt. Chris, if you clip me saying go, I'm not even going to say that word again, that phrase, so that I can't give you another opportunity to clip it. You can clip me saying blow Leafs blow. That's what you can clip me saying. Um, so fingers crossed we get one of these top spots. But if we're going to do a position player towards the back end, if it's not Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, I mean, I kind of think those are the first two ones going right out of the position group.
Yeah, I mean, unless you go CMC
Yeah.
at running back, but I'm gonna take myself Jefferson or Chase. I do have see, I had a very long string of getting in the 12th position, so I started getting creative. If one of those guys falls to the 12th position, I'm going to take them. But then sometimes from the very back, I also was looking at getting a stack that maybe you're technically reaching on a little bit, but is just not possible to get unless you do it from that spot,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So a big one I was doing a lot of from the back end was Tua and Tyreek.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. I did, and this was not necessarily in a best ball, but just because you brought it up, I did a Tyreek and Waddle stack last year in a redraft, and I got to tell you, that was one of my favorite teams to watch throughout the year. But Miami's got a fun offense, so they're a joy to watch. But guys, looks like we need 3 more people left for this draft. It is $5 over on Underdog. Make sure that you jump into the $5 12-person draft if that's what you're looking for. Go on there, jump on in. Let's have a fun night. It's a 30-second clock, so it's only going to take an hour of your time. And you'll get to draft with the two of us. So what more could you want on a Friday night? I don't know. For sure, but. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to recruit here and multitask.
That's okay. Hey, that's what we like multitasking. Guys, also, just I actually, we did have some big news. So while we're waiting for those next 3 people to join in, Stephanie, I wanted to check in with you and see if you thought the news about Jameson Williams today being suspended for 6 games, does that do anything for you regarding Amon-Ra St. Brown, our beloved sun god? Does that make a difference in his ADP for you?
Well, I want to say yes, that he's going to go earlier, but if you look at where he's going in the second round, I'm not quite sure how much earlier he can
Yeah.
go. I mean, who are we going to put him over? I mean, we're not putting him over Chase and Jefferson, and
Right.
I mean those guys and Hill, Cup.
Brown.
Yeah, so
Yeah, Cooper Kupp, all those guys. I mean, I don't.
it makes it tough.
For sure. I think had it been the situation's been swapped where maybe if Sun God had gotten in trouble and was suspended, and then then we're looking at, okay, now where does Jameson Williams go? I think that's a huge difference. But yeah, I don't really know how much higher you can take Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, I love him. I'm a huge fan, so I'll take him everywhere. But yeah, I don't know that I'm taking him before any of those guys that we just mentioned anyway. So Chris wants to know, how high of a priority is stacking strategy for us in best ball? So what do you think? What do you think, Steph? What, as far as your priority list when you come into a draft, where is that? Where does that land?
Very, 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 very high. I mean, I am a stacker. You want to stack. Stacking has been a centerpiece, since DFS. It really improves your advance rate. It improves. There's so many less things you have to get right when you stack.
Right.
So hitting on a high-powered offense, getting the quarterback, getting at least one of their pass catchers, if not a wide receiver and a tight end, you could double stack, is what you want to do. And when we're in those big contests,
yeah, we're full.
We're full. And a couple names I recognize here. Not some I don't, but that's okay. Welcome everyone, nonetheless. And oh my goodness, we are in the Influencer 101.
Oh, look at that. Number 1. Let's go. LFG, says Keith. Absolutely. Let's do it. We got 30 seconds before we get started.
And if you see my queue, I'm going to take myself some Josh Allen here.
I don't blame you. I can't imagine doing anything other than Josh Allen with that number 1 pick overall. I know other people are doing, Mahomes. I've seen Hurts go number 1 overall, and that's fine. But I definitely, definitely a Josh Allen fan for sure with the one spot.
I could see a case for the other two.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, I mean, again, I'm going to take Allen, but if you do enough of these sometimes, and if you happen to get lucky enough to get the
Mm-hmm.
first pick several times and you want to change your exposures because there's someone you're lighter weight on, then that's fine. It makes sense. As long as it's one of those three, I would not, do anyone else because it is hard to usually get that first pick and first position. So
Exactly. Especially on a random order. But yeah, I mean, you're right. If you are doing more of a volume base with best ball right now, just because there's really not anything else to do, I definitely, why not shake it up? Why not have a few teams with different lineups and different settings? So we've got Allen, Mahomes, Hurts. Fields goes fourth overall, followed by Burrow. Do you have any issue with Fields going fourth overall?
no, I've been taking Fields about there. I am a little worried about Fields. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, just because he had such a huge rushing outlier season
Right.
that he needs to not only match that, and
Mhm.
also a lot of that production was some really long touchdown runs. And touchdowns are not sticky year to year.
No.
So I mean, I think he really does need to increase his passing, and I'd like to see them take a step forward. But hopefully, with DJ Moore, they have a chance and
That's what I was just about to
they
ask
can
you.
get.
Was about with Moore, if you saw now that he actually has a true number one receiver, do you see that happening? Do you see him taking off, as far as his passing game?
I think so. I think it could. I mean, hopefully they get, maybe some help in the O line with the draft. That could help too.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. We definitely don't want him back there getting killed at all. Looks like our guy Jorge back here is in the 12th spot. He is rapping with Kelsey. I love that pick.
So who are you looking at for this pick, Stacy? Is there anyone that
For our
you
second pick,
like
so
for us?
I'm a very much wide receiver girl all the way. I love my receivers. I will wait as long as possible to take a running back. So let's see who we've got who's available right now. We've got Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs available. Let's see, scrolling down as far as ADP, then follows up with CD Lamb, AJ Brown. Out of that four group right there, I mean, I don't know how you can pass up on a stack with Stephon Diggs, right? Now that we have
If he
Allen.
makes it, yeah,
If he makes
that's
it,
what.
how could you
Oh,
not? Right?
and
You
Diva.
know? I jinxed it.
So,
Oh.
yeah, you know what? It's pretty hard to get. So then
How do you feel about
we're
Devontae?
looking at, yeah. So do you like Adams, Lamb? And we got two picks. So who do
Yeah.
you want to do?
Ooh, what do you think about going back-to-back receiver? How do you feel about that? Or should we who are our QBs that are left? We got Kirk Cousins.
You never have to twist my arm. I don't
Who do you
mind
want?
with. I think we should wait on our second quarterback. I mean, we got
Agreed.
Josh Allen. We're fine.
Agreed. I mean, if we're looking at Kirk Cousins as our next highest rated quarterback. Oh, did somebody just take Devontae?
Of
Ugh,
course. So our next ones we could do CD, Almond Raw. Let's see. Or Waddle or Garrett Wilson, probably.
all right. So we've only got 10 seconds left. So I am good with either CD or Amon Ra right there. I like
Well,
both
we
of those
got two
guys.
picks. So
Oh,
do
we
you
do
want to
have
do
two
both of
picks.
them?
You're absolutely right. I mean, we could take both of them if we wanted to.
Why not? Let's do it.
And I
I'm a
don't see.
Dallas fan. You're never going to hear me complain over CD.
Okay, well there you go. So
And
look
now
at
we got our early Almond Raw because he's going to be a hot commodity.
exactly. I mean, I just don't see how he doesn't eat again this year. I mean, again, I don't know. I've been on the Amon-Ra St. Brown fan club for a while here.
It also makes me very happy to hear that you have no problem being wide receiver heavy because
Oh,
I do tend to go towards the zero RB
mhm.
side of life.
I do too. I think it's more fun that way. I think you've got more there's just more elite guys, I think, in the receiver group. And with running backs, I mean, they just get hurt so often. I mean, who among us has not gotten Jonathan Taylor from last year, right? Like you take him and then, oh my God, the whole season you're out. And it's just like, what, then you wasted your whole first round draft pick on him. So receiver for me, quite frankly. Like, I would rather take somebody like a Ramondre that we just scrolled by over there. Somebody like that as my first overall running back rather than, spending it all on somebody like a Jonathan Taylor, as much as I adore CMC, him also, because one of my number one rules in fantasy is we don't trust Kyle Shanahan. So, but yeah, I mean, that's I see Bijan going in the third. Wow, that's the lowest I've seen him go recently.
Oh no, he's already being drafted like he is one of the elites, which I have no problem with. He is, in my opinion.
I agree too. I think he's going to be super fun to watch.
Special.
Let's pray to the NFL gods he doesn't end up somewhere horrific like New England.
Because if there's anyone I don't trust more than Shanahan, it's Belichick.
Yes, agreed, 100%. And it would just kill Ramondre's value as well. I think that would just be a horrible spot for him. How do you feel? Let me ask you about this. So I see Breece Hall here going with the 3-9. How do you feel about Breece Hall? Because I have some reservations given the severity of that knee injury and him coming back at full strength this year right away.
I mean, with any of those injuries, it's going to take a little bit of time to get back to it. But from what I've heard now, I need to look into it a little more.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be pretty bullish on him. I mean, I think he has a high ceiling, and as young as he was, I'm going to hope that his recovery has been going in the right direction, it sounds like, as opposed to Javonte Williams, who I am not taking actually at all. He had a 3 ligament, I believe, injury. So something like that's really serious. And I think he could be sidelined the entire season, honestly.
I agree. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, just when you're recovering, like, you can't even put weight on it for so long. Like, he's not going to be able to be doing anything. I don't see how he'll be in football shape for a while when he comes back. But any of those injuries, you're not going to be at your full strength probably the first year back.
Exactly.
Now, how much, what percentage, what that's still going to look like with a guy that's a Breece Hall's caliber, I want to still hope that he's going to be pretty fucking good. Sorry. Excuse my language.
No,
I don't know why that pulled back.
None at all. I'm just surprised that you dropped one before I have. So there you go. No, I was listening to Stefania Bell from ESPN earlier today too about those injuries. I really value her injury analysis, and she was saying the same thing about Javonte and about Breece Hall. And can you really count on this?
All right, I don't want to cut you off, but we're almost up. We're almost up, so we gotta. So,
all right, we've got our 2 receivers. Do we want to take who are? As far as ADP goes, where are we looking at a receiver right now? What's available?
I mean, our next probably best receiver, and mine is going to be messed up here of not ADP because I actually have ETR ranks in, so sometimes we'll have to scroll around. But I don't mind actually taking a running back here if you wanted to go Ramondre or Etienne. I'm just going to put them in as we're talking in case we time out. We could take Debo or go for a second, or you know what, Hawkinson.
Let's take Hawkinson.
Okay, we have 2 picks.
Running back. Yeah, let's do Hawkinson.
Well, we got ETN on accident. I was moving Hawkinson to the front, so then we'll do that and Hawk. There we go.
Yeah, I like that. I was gonna say either ETN or Ramondre is totally fine.
That's who I had in. Yeah. I had both of them.
I saw that Najee was the next rated running back, and I got to tell you, I love Najee as a person. Do not like him in fantasy. It just doesn't give me good vibes.
Stacy, we are like 2 peas in a pod. My Najee Harris is probably 0.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not taking Najee, so don't worry. Unless he like really falls. I mean,
yeah. Agreed.
I usually get some exposure.
Yes. Yeah. If the value's there and you can get him in a late round, absolutely. Kim loves our Hawkinson pick. Thank you, Kim. Appreciate it, guys. Also, make sure you're commenting. If you're watching tonight, please jump in and comment on our picks. We only, please feel free to pander to us. We only want to hear the good things. If you have anything bad to say about our picks, we don't want to hear it. No, I'm just kidding. Feel free to send over all your commentation, Chris, unless it's about the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then I definitely don't want to hear that. But let's see who's out now. We got CJ Stroud and Stafford are the next two quarterbacks that have already been taken off the board.
CJ Stroud, how do you feel about all the news on him lately? That's not as positive as what we first.
Yeah,
thought.
so I love him going to the Panthers, but I think I would prefer Bryce Young to go there. But then I heard some stuff today that was like, well, the Texans don't want to deal with CJ Stroud because he's got the same agent as Deshaun Watson and there's so much bad blood there. And I thought, well, I mean, I guess I can kind of see that, but my gosh, how petty, that you would pass on somebody like CJ Stroud just because you don't like his agent or you don't like the guy that he repped before. But I mean, honestly, that wouldn't really surprise me about the Texans because quite frankly, they seem like they're run by children. So, I guess I've had a little bit of wine tonight, so you might get some real honest, unfiltered opinions here.
All right, but I'm looking at maybe taking a second quarterback here. What do you think? As we come in.
So here's what's available. We've got Kenny Pickett, Jimmy Garoppolo, Anthony Richardson, Trey Lance. Oh, no, thank you. Oh gosh. Who else? Stephanie might want to scroll a little bit. Who else? Beyond that? Oh,
Mac doesn't go till later. We got time on him.
Agreed. I don't hate Mac Jones though. I know that there's been so much.
If we miss out, because I don't see the ceiling with Jimmy. Like,
you know what you're getting. Let's just put it.
I have no problem, and we don't want to call out everybody, so I'm going to kind of speak in codes. And we do have several people, I'm sure, in the draft in our chat.
Yeah, exactly.
So we could wait a little bit longer, I think, because I'm not seeing anybody I absolutely love, unless it sounds like you're out on Lance, so you don't want to take a shot.
I'm not. I mean, at this point right now, I mean, it sounds like he's their third string quarterback, right?
I mean, if he stays there,
that's true.
Trade could be in the works. And
where would he go?
Hold on. We need to.
Yeah, we're
probably.
We'll need to put that Trey Lance conversation in the parking lot and circle back to that later.
So let's see. We've got
receivers at this point. We've got Christian Kirk and Michael Pittman. Oh, Scary Terry is still available. How do you feel about him?
We can go at.
I see a lot of receivers.
Where are you? There he is. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine. I don't have a lot of Terry McLaurin, but I like and Washington also. That's an easy way to get a late stack.
Exactly, and I mean,
because we have two quarterback options.
Exactly, I just think with Terry McLaurin, I mean, they've had so much upheaval at the quarterback position.
So who do you want second? Do you want another receiver, or we already have tight end?
We've got. Let's see. We've got.
You don't want Lance, so
don't like Lance.
We could do. How do you feel about Dobbins?
Honestly, I hate running backs in Baltimore. Unless they're named Lamar Jackson.
We got Sanders. I'm kind of off hook.
Yeah.
3, 2.
Oh.
And we got Lance.
Well, guys, we're gonna become Trey Lance fans this season, and we are gonna believe in him and send good vibes his way. And it's okay.
We got Anchor Allen. So you know what? If they hit, this team could be like super, super high ceiling.
Exactly. But yeah, so maybe we do go running back next. Although
we need to get our game plan a little bit
earlier.
I was trying to give you a shot at telling me, so
I know. I'm sorry. I definitely this 30-second clock. I am not used to, for sure. I am definitely. It's definitely.
So running backs. I'm looking at through coming up.
Oh,
who do you like?
Well, just real quick, did you see that Kyle Pitts falling to the 7th? That might be something we might want to circle back and talk about later, because I think that's going to be a big topic of conversation.
There's no topic. I tend to take Pitts a lot. I did last year. I was pretty obsessed with him, and I'm ready to get hurt again.
Why are you so obsessed with me? Oh. Out of this group right here, honestly, I like Dameon Pierce. I'm a Dameon Pierce fan. I don't know how I don't know how I want to feel about Cam Akers yet. I can't stand David Montgomery. I think he's like the most boring player out there. Thank you for taking him.
You're playing to the crowd right now because
Yeah.
a lot of the people in this room, I have a feeling, are not David Montgomery fans.
Oh, he's just boring. He really is. Yeah. Rashad White. I saw
It's
down
a
there.
little early, I think, for
It is.
White.
He's
Yeah.
maybe on the
Well, I
radar
guess.
for him for
Yeah.
later.
So,
Yeah, let's take a look at our
oh, well,
receivers here.
Pierce went. So
Oh, Sam
Akers is a
Howell already gone. Sam Howell and Ritter gone.
That's okay. We got
Yeah,
time.
Pacheco. You know what? Can we put Pacheco on there, please?
Yes.
Oh, go back. He's up. He's further up.
Up
He's
there it
near
is.
the Lakers. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problem.
Yeah. Big Isaiah Pacheco fan. Famously last year said on a podcast that I didn't think that he was going to do anything. Definitely made me eat my words there, but big fan now. Keith says they made Jamal a better touchdown scorer than Barry Sanders.
What do you
Yeah,
think of going Ayuk?
ooh, I'm a huge Brandon Ayuk
So
fan.
we can, that way we can stack our
Yes,
lands
especially now that he's back in
if
Shanny's
he
good
makes it,
graces.
since we have
If
several
he
picks.
doesn't make it, who's right below Ayuk in the queue? Not the queue, sorry, then the ADP. Ooh, Burks, no thank you.
I mean, I get, like I said, here, I'll click
Yeah.
on receiver so you can see.
Oh, thanks. There we go. Ooh.
So, Marquise Brown's a pretty good value too.
I mean, if they
There's
trade
nobody else there.
Right. I mean, I every year I don't take Marquise Brown, and then inevitably whoever has him, whenever I play them, it just blows up in my face. So why don't we take him or put him on the queue at least?
Yeah, I'll put him as a possibility here.
Yes.
I was curious. Okay, so Jameson Williams.
Wow. All right, in the 8th round. All right, so noted.
Oh, and there went Ayuk. Thanks, guys.
And
Oh,
Marquise
and
Brown on
Brown.
track. Well, that's rude.
I
How
know. So
do you
you
feel
were
about
not
Brandon
a
Cooks?
Burks.
Let me ask you, Dallas girl. How do you feel about Brandon Cooks?
Well, we already have CD, but
We
I
do.
don't mind. I mean, you can stack without the quarterback. Now, hopefully they throw enough and aren't super run heavy, but
Well, let me ask you, because I
you
mean,
know what? It will be unusual.
yeah. Well, so Brandon Cook, obviously last year, I just
Oh,
feel like last year was Kadarius.
well, know what we should do?
Oh,
Let's do a
Gabe
smart
Davis.
thing. Let's stack Allen with
Gabe
Gabe
Davis. Yes.
Davis,
Smart
even
thing.
though it's early. It's
No, I
okay.
like
When you're on the ends, you're going to reach.
exactly.
So we're going to go Pacheco,
Nature of the beast for sure.
and we're going to stack with Gabe here.
Ah, there we go. Oh, I just saw that it was us that took Isaiah Pacheco, and I was like, oh, how rude! Someone sniped us.
No, we got him. It was
Great.
just our receivers.
Yeah. Well, so I want to continue that about Brandon Cooks, though. I mean, I know last year he had a terrible year, but I think that was just more his environment rather than his actual talent. Because the last few years, I think, what was it, like 7 in a row or something, that he had like 1,000 yards every year.
I think
So
it's 4 out of his last
yeah,
6 seasons were 1,000 yards. Yeah.
right. So it's just crazy. So I don't see why he isn't going to contribute in a big way to the Dallas offense at all.
No, the only thing that worries me about the Dallas offense is if with Schottenheimer and McCarthy, it's just going to be run, run, run.
I was about to say McCarthy. Is that the only thing that worries you about it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, I don't blame you there one bit. Definitely a big concern. Do you think Tony Pollard's going to be back to start the season?
It sounds like it. They're really bullish on him. I hope so. I have a lot of Pollard. I am huge Pollard fan now. I have no idea what they're going to do this draft.
Yeah.
And, I've heard a lot of possible rumblings of would it surprise anyone if Jerry moved up and took Bijan? No.
I've heard that too. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't at all. Like, how would you feel that would as far as Bijan's ADP? How would that, do you think, affect it if he's drafted in Dallas?
I think they would go up.
Yeah.
I just think because I think people expect them to be run heavy.
Yeah.
And they should have decent, they score points. So I would think, but and Pollard really though doesn't need a huge volume. I mean, obviously Bijan would, that'd be rough, not gonna lie. But we've seen him do it with Zeke.
Right.
He's very efficient. He, a couple touches and he can take one to the house too.
Yeah, that's all he needs. Okay, so are we looking to maybe fill in a little bit more at running back here?
We got a stack. I mean, because we got. I think we could do maybe running back receiver again.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I think so. I think so too.
So coming up, I'm off of Mixon with everything going on.
Agreed. I don't want any part of Mixon. No, thank you. No, thank you at all.
So what do you think of?
Oh, I was going to say James Cook. Somebody just snatched him.
Yeah. I mean, I really like this whole kind of tier coming up. I mean, there's a lot of guys here I like.
Let me ask you about Kamara. How do you feel about Kamara? Because he's still there. I know he's probably going to be suspended. But do you think maybe in a later round or something like that, if he's still around, how would you feel about grabbing him?
I have not been, but I mean, I think if you have, some stronger running backs, it's not a bad idea, especially as he could surprise.
Definitely. I wasn't necessarily advocating for Alvin there.
So who do you want here, you think? We got Pirine, Herbert, Madison, especially Cook goes. We got Jamal Williams. We got a whole bunch.
Yes, my favorite, Mr. Jamal Williams, swag daddy himself.
All right.
Huge fan. All he does is score touchdowns. I don't know. All this talk about everybody's so down on Jamal Williams. I don't want to hear it. That man has put up 13 touchdowns his entire career, at least 13. So I don't want to hear it. I think he continues that.
All right. So while we talk quickly. So now we're also coming up. Do you like, because this is kind of the place where we could look at Addison or Johnston or Zay. If honestly, you like a rookie, or we got still Bateman hanging around. If you want to go oldies, we got Mike Thomas. Anybody?
Oh, no to Mike Thomas. That's a longer rant than we have time for. It looks like we're going to get time when we're going Jamal.
Well, okay, I was taking him. Yeah. But
how about DPJ? How about DPJ with Cleveland? What do you think right there?
It's early.
You think so? Okay. All right. Yeah.
So right now we got here.
I love these.
I don't have an answer for that. Is there?
Well, apparently my series. I'm talking to it right now.
So Addison Flowers, Bateman.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I guess Addison out of that group. Oh, did he just go? Oh, we took him. Okay.
Well, yeah, we're timing out. That's why I was trying to.
With that group, if I've got to pick one of those, I think I tend to like a few other receivers. I'm a big Marvin Mims fan. I know that's not for a while.
Yeah, I was like, those are late. I love Mims.
Much later on. I have so many questions about the rookie receivers in this group. But so talking about rookies though, like how do you feel about exposure to rookies pre-draft?
Well, there's a lot of risk because, obviously we could be taking guys that aren't going to get drafted at all. But then when you look at things like closing line value, that's the way. If you are ahead of the market and can identify some of those guys, you can get some really good teams as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I think it's about how you build around them a lot. Like, we got some guys that we know have some role and are solid. So, going a couple like rookie running backs later is fine to me. I'm not going to take a ton of rookies at one position because, they're probably not going to be starting right away.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't have a problem. I know some people are terrified, but I think having a little bit of a dynasty background, I feel like gives you a little bit of an edge to have some idea of what's going on.
Yeah, I agree. I tend to agree. I definitely don't want to go too rookie heavy and get a little carried away just because you don't know. There's so many unknown Things like that, where are they going to land, that kind of stuff. Oh, there goes my boy Sky Moore.
All right, let's start talking. Oh yeah,
we're about to come up now. Okay, so we took Jamal, we took Addison.
What position?
Are we looking at grabbing a third quarterback here anytime soon, or we might want to try to maybe grab another tight end as well?
If we did quarterback, I mean, I'm only planning on taking 3 here, probably.
Yes.
When you have Allen, so we could take Brissett because we have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got Terry.
Terry.
Mm-hmm. I like
if he makes it. I like that. Like I said, if he makes it, we'll see how nice these people are in our draft.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Yeah, over that group that's there, I like Jacoby the best out of that situation.
And then do you think we should get, let's see where we're at. So we've got 3 running backs and 5 receivers and a tight end. So do you think we should do another running back or another receiver here? Oh, actually, why don't we do Dawson Knox?
See, you know what? I like Dawson Knox, and I know there are so many people that are not fans of Dawson Knox, but you know what though? I kind of like those receivers going into their they're not receivers, sorry, they're tight ends going into their 3rd and 4th years. And I think, what is Dawson Knox in his 4th year now? I think this is going to be his 4th season.
So I'd have to double check.
Something like that. But I like how they use him. I like it with the team that we've got going here. We've got Josh Allen. I definitely approve of the Dawson Knox pick. Let's do those back to back if we can make sure nobody snipes us here.
And sure. I know who this person is, so he might be in the chat.
Oh, so Kim says that she is totally with you on that closing line value. So again, guys, just remember to make sure that you're commenting, hopping in the chat. Please send over questions, things like that. We will definitely get to all of your questions. All right, so we just took Brissett and Knox.
So we are set. Like we are stacking. And honestly, I love to correlate my tight ends if I can with my quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's definitely.
So we got Josh double stacked here. We got him with Gabe and Dawson Knox. And we could probably be fine. I mean, this is a 20-round draft, so maybe at the very end we can take a tight end, like with our last pick or something, just kind of see how that falls. But we could end with 2, and I would be okay with that. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do too. I think I'd be fine, especially with those 2 tight ends. Depending on who's available, I would definitely say, okay, let's take a look and see. But, if that's where we ended, I would have no qualms with that whatsoever.
So basically, we're done, so to speak, I think, at quarterback and tight end. Like I said, those really late rounds, we kind of just take best available at any position. Exactly. So then we can kind of focus at running back and wide receiver. And really, let's see, our wide receivers, we're only starting 2 in this format. That's an important thing that in the other contests that will come up later, like BBM, we are going to be starting 3. So wide receivers are a little more important in those. Here, we're only taking 2 since we took a bunch early. I mean, probably we don't need more than probably like 7, 8 at most.
Right.
Especially if we're going light at those other positions. I mean, might end up with 8 and then 6 or 7 running backs. We'll see.
And that's fine because you never know. I mean, that's such a heavy injury position. So, I mean, with running backs, I mean, the more the merrier, I think, in a best ball situation. Guys, just so everybody is, especially if you're listening and you're not watching necessarily, we're going into the 14th round. Michael Mayer, it looks like first rookie tight end taken off the board. Love that. Very curious to see where he goes in the draft.
Somebody took my guy that I wanted, I think.
Oh, Hunter Renfrow or?
Oh no, running back. Yep, he went. Should have known.
Hunter Renfrow, do tell.
No. No, I like Israel Abagan. I can't say his last name.
Abanikanda.
Abanikanda.
Our Bill Moose
he
went. So happy that you said that.
Yeah, I knew with this group, I was like, oh, it's about that point. I was like, he probably went a while ago. So running back, anyone, we got like where we could do a veteran, or we got several rookies also. around
I
here.
don't hate Jaylen Warren as a backup. He definitely got some playing time with Najee being injured last year, and I think they, he finally was able to show a little bit of what he can do. So I definitely do not hate that Jaylen Warren pick and taking him. Looks
I'll
like
put
we've
him
got
in our queue just in case.
there we go. So it looks like there's Devon A Chain. Sorry, Devon. Zeke is still there, which not knowing where he's going to be makes me nervous, and I just have been off of him the last couple years anyway. We've got Tank Bigsby, Cordarrelle Patterson there, Zach Evans.
Like I
Kareem
said, these aren't
Hunt,
another rookie I like also is Kendra Miller.
Miller. Okay. All right. So why don't we throw him up on the queue too, just to get him out there
Okay, we can put him.
and on our radar. Yeah, the rest of the guys
And
out
then,
military.
yeah, I'm going to click so we can look at receivers.
Not loving that. Okay, so receivers as far as we've got right now. Here are some options.
How do you feel about Pierce?
I am a huge Pierce fan. What I am not a fan of is that Indy offense. So I was big on Pierce last year and I took him in several places and it ended up kind of biting me. But I do like him as a player. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with their quarterback situation. But I do like Alec Pierce a lot.
Any other receivers you like here? I have no problem. We can take Warren here. I'm good with that. We can let that time out while we talk and figure out a receiver.
Exactly. How about Wandale? I know he's injured, but he could be coming back, and it's not like we're using him to start. So
sounds good. I was huge on Wandale last year, especially. I like him a lot. I hope he's healthy enough. And even though New York's been taking a ton of guys, none of them are very good.
Exactly. That's kind of what I thought. I was like, what are they doing? They're just getting all these mediocre, receivers. I don't know. I'm shocked. I'm wondering if they're going to do something in the draft and try to go after somebody there. Although again, this is not a super impressive receiver draft this year, but
yeah, I'm a little worried. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Guys,
I definitely like running backs more.
Yes. So if you're keeping track at home, we just took Jaylen Warren and we also took Wandale Robinson back to back. All right. So we are at 4 running backs. We are at 6 receivers. I mean, Stephanie, I guess we have to get some more running backs at this point, right?
We do. And like I said, and there's a guy that you mentioned that I really like later on for a receiver but since we're going lighter at maybe our other positions, we might end up getting an extra receiver. But there's a rookie you mentioned that I don't want to say his name because I'm going to try to avoid getting sniped by the room. But as we get closer, I'm down with it. So I'm going to keep my eye on him without putting him in the queue.
Excellent. I think
that could be kind of our ending point. But
I love it. And guys, we are in the 15th round right now. We're on 15.6 at this point. Rondale Moore just went. Taysom Hill. T Hill, not Tyreek Hill. That'd be Taysom Hill just went. Oh,
if you were getting Tyreek Hill this late, wow.
You're not drafting with the right people, or maybe you are drafting with the right people.
I like Tank as well. So what do you think of maybe looking at a rookie running back here since we got
Well, I like the rookie running back class much better than I like the receiver class. So I think there's a lot of guys there that could be standouts and that could be useful, especially in a best ball situation and not knowing exactly where they're going to go. So I like Miller there. That group right there that we're looking at on the screen there, that Zach Evans, Kareem Hunt, Devin Singletary, Fournette, Hubbard, not super impressive, but at this point, those guys aren't our starters. So I'm okay with, even Hubbard, there perhaps.
And he can catch passes too.
Exactly.
I've taken Hubbard some. I've actually even stacked him with whoever I, at the time thought the quarterback was going to be.
Right. I mean, right now, he's number 2 behind Sanders, until they draft him.
So do you have a favorite
of this crew?
Of this group?
Well, I know you're a big Miller fan, so why not? Let's go with Miller. Let's roll the dice on him.
All right. I just like everybody that goes to Texas schools, honestly.
And sometimes, right? And sometimes, does that not just influence our pick? I think it does. You just have good vibes.
Did Roshan go?
Roshan?
Or is he? Yeah, Johnson.
I want to say, yeah, I think Roshan's
Okay.
gone.
I was like, sometimes, like I said, because the queue or these are in
Mhm.
there with rankings, so it's not by ADP. So sometimes I never know if it's a scroll down situation or they went.
Which of these, if you have one, which of these rookies do you think outplays their ADP?
I think Izzy, Kendre, Tank have a really good shot at doing it.
So, Stephanie, I want to get your opinion on this, and I don't know the answer to this before I'm about to ask it, so it may come back to haunt me. What are your thoughts on Zach Charbonnet? He's been a topic of much discussion on our Dynasty show.
I like Charbonnet a lot. I still think
Thank you.
should be 3rd or 4th overall. I mean,
Thank
taking definitely. Are there people that have him outside of their top 3 or 4?
Well, we have had quite he's a very divisive character on our
Really?
Wednesday show. So yeah, I just wanted to gather your thoughts on Mr. Charbonnet. And I just got to say, if that man does not take some of his signing bonus and go invest in a winery in California, he's wasting everything. I mean, if there is anything, and it's really unfortunate that he graduated right as NIL was getting off the ground because I mean, what an opportunity.
All right, we're up.
We are on the clock.
So we have Evans and Hubbard.
Mhm.
What about we didn't talk about? What do you think about Tucker?
I kind of like Tucker, but out of this crew, I say, why don't we take Hubbard just because we've got a few rookie running backs at this point?
We don't have any rookie running backs.
Wait, I thought that we took
We haven't
we didn't
taken
take Henry
anyone.
Miller? Oh, we didn't take
No,
Henry
they
Miller.
went.
Oh,
They were just our queue.
he did.
So
Okay.
we could take Evans and Hubbard.
All right, perfect. Let's do those two guys. Yeah. I got so distracted talking about Zach Charbonnet that I
No,
just
yeah, we
assumed that
had
we
some
took Henry
time.
Miller.
No, they went before we had a chance.
Well, that's okay. All right. So, guys, everybody, just so you all know, we are on round 17.3 right now. So we've got our just a few more picks left before we wrap up this draft. So we are evenly tied, 6 running backs, 6 receivers. Steph, who are receivers who are left? Who are our options out there in these later?
Well, I want to say one, but I don't want to say it too
Well,
soon.
other than that person, which we will know, you guys will all know when we take that person if they don't get in.
So right here, probably some guys I like. I mean, we already have too many Dallas guys, so we're going to skip Gallup. But I like Taekwon. I think he's a deep threat,
Mhm.
and he could get a lot more usage this year.
He could. And what a great best ball player,
Hodgins,
right? I like Hodgins too.
but we already have Wandale,
Yeah.
so I don't want to go that heavy on it. I don't mind. Ooh,
Khalil oh. Okay. Khalil
yes.
Shakir, just add to our stack.
I don't think you can have too many Buffalo guys.
No, you really
There's certain
can't.
teams I don't want to overstack. Like usually I'm kind of like a double stack is my preferred, but when there's a team that is going to score so many points, I have no problem just going super heavy. Now, this is more of a cash game, not a tournament,
Mhm.
but I don't really play very many cash games, so I don't know how to do it and not play it like it's a tournament.
Right. Yeah, guys, this is a
Honestly,
self-contained draft right
yeah.
here. So it's not going to be tournament style. We're not playing against thousands of other people. We're only playing against 12 or the 11 other players that are in this particular draft. I actually really like that Tyquan Thornton pick as well if we can't get Shakir here.
Mhm.
And I like him because I think there are certain guys, at least for me, that I am only necessarily interested in a best ball format.
Oh, he went.
He went.
But our we have our other guy, but I think we should
We do.
probably take Shakir over him.
I agree. And then we can just, who do we want to take on the wrap?
Well, if they're
Do we want to
ooh,
take that particular individual on the wrap? Or is it too
I think
early?
we could.
I don't think it's too
Oh,
early.
no, it's not too early right now. We're at the end. So we could do that. And yeah, because then we'd be done at receiver. And then we could kind of decide if we wanted another running back or another tight end.
Exactly. So the pound saying here, cash game equals go with the best value play / not necessarily the highest
Yeah.
upside play. Do you agree with that?
I do, because there's not a playoff week and you're not trying to compete against thousands of people. So you don't need that top 1% score.
Right. Yeah, you don't need to be the most unique roster out there.
Yeah. I mean, so even the mega stacking, it's probably more
Mhm.
important in the tournament than it is in
Yeah.
here.
Well, I'm
Because of the
totally down to
style
go with
contest.
Sheer.
And Pound he's got some really great views too. He's a smart guy that does a lot of streams as well. So
Well, I'm glad that he has joined our chat tonight, and hopefully he will do more of these with us, because guys, we're gonna be doing these every week. So get ready, buckle in. If you don't have anything to do during the week, you can definitely always come draft with us.
and I think I missed it, but I'm like, oh, why am I not seeing him? I think the guy I
Can you
wanted
just
went.
search?
I'm pretty sure the guy I wanted went. I'm looking.
At this point, it's definitely possible. Oh, Hendon Hooker taking a flyer on our quarterback who's getting so much.
As I'm scrolling here. Okay. It's like my computer is doing something.
Oh, there's one right up there that I absolutely really
there.
like.
Oh, yeah, he went. I was looking at
Mims, yes,
Mims.
No relation to Denzel Mims, at least not that I know of.
Yes, there is.
Is there?
Yes, there is.
Oh, I'm gonna eat my words. Are they
Yep.
cousins? What are they?
Now I forgot if they're cousins or brothers. They might be
Okay.
brothers.
Yes, I actually really like Mingo too right
Okay.
here.
I was looking. If not, I don't have any Mingo, but I do like him. So
Right?
we
Yeah,
need
he's a
two
fun little
guys.
player.
So we could do another guy I like is Tillman.
Yes, I like Tillman as well. I mean, at this point, we're so late in the draft. We're going on our 18th and 19th round picks. So, I mean, at this point, most of
we
these guys
can
are
go.
anyway,
So we go Mingo, and then do you want to do another tight end or another? Ooh.
Yes, I actually would love to do a tight end.
Okay.
And I gotta tell you,
Hurry and tell me, because we
I
only
have
got
some
30
love.
seconds.
I've got some. If we want to go rookie, we want to be a little crazy and be a little wild out there.
Let's do
How
it.
about Darnell Washington?
Okay, I was hovering over him. I was like, I feel like we're in sync enough to where I knew where you're going.
Yeah, and guys, I don't need to get out the sheet of paper to demonstrate the size of Darnell Washington's hands again. If you want to see that, go back a few episodes. But I'm a big Washington fan. I love that guy. I think he's gonna be so much fun to watch.
Big hands, big feet.
Big hands, big hands. We know what that means. Go. Let's do it.
I
love
me a big old tight end. I mean,
that's great. I
think he could be special. I just hope that whoever he goes to uses him also in the receiving game and not just as a blocker.
Exactly. Yeah, I do hope that he lands in a good spot. Sending nothing but good draft vibes his way for sure.
So, what do you think of this last rookie I have here?
Here's my thoughts on Dwayne McBride. If I remember correctly, I don't believe that he had much to offer in the passing game.
Correct.
So my concern then would be with a half-point PPR is, what is he really going to bring to the table for us?
Well, here's the thing. We don't know that he can't. And there's a lot of hype on him. His running game, he's got other skills I had some notes that I was going to read off. Because I don't remember anybody.
For pick 20, our very own Brock Purdy, our Mr. Irrelevant, why not? If we like him as a player.
Purdy's gone. Wow.
Oh.
Blonde moment.
He would be our last pick, so he would be our Brock Purdy for sure.
Yeah, if he makes it that long.
Exactly.
A few of these people still might also.
So we've got our last few picks that just went. We've got Perez Campbell going in the 19th. Again, just another one of those, mediocre New York receivers. Sorry, whoever took him. We've got Jelani Woods going. We've got Robinson, Tyler Conklin. Hunter Henry, I think, is actually an underrated tight end. I think that's really good value in New England, honestly, especially this late in the 19th pick. I really like Hunter Henry there. I had him last year as one of my very last tight ends that I got. And I mean, there were absolutely games where, all he does is, they use him in the red zone a lot. So I have no issue with Hunter Henry.
What do you think about Gesicki being there? Do you think he takes away from Henry's upside, or are you still?
That's such a
okay
good
with it?
question because, I was not a Gesicki fan down in Miami, and, I hear a lot of, well, they didn't use him the right way. So I guess if New England decides to use him the right way, I mean, Johnny Smith was there last year and it didn't hurt Hunter Henry at all. So, I mean, I don't think these two are going to recreate Gronk and Aaron Hernandez days. So, well, at least hopefully not.
I was like, in what ways are we talking?
They're gonna play on the field, guys, not their play off the field. So I don't know. I still am a Hunter Henry kind of fan there. I don't mind him as much there. Um,
Well,
we
one of my highest exposures is probably Mac Jones just because of the style
yes,
I draft. So I do take a lot of late round tight ends. So I do have quite a few Jones and Henry stacks too,
yeah,
just because the value I think is there.
exactly.
And I kind of skip over a lot of those middle, kind of like
Mhm.
with running back. It's like you take the anchor and then you take later guys, but you kind of skip over that other, group a lot of times. So it's
Yeah,
not as much a player take as a structure take for me,
exactly.
where sometimes those guys I'll end up with.
So Chris wants to know who our favorite mid-round pick has been so far. Stephanie, do you have a favorite mid-round guy that
Well, I
either
mean,
you took or someone else took?
I haven't been able to really see everybody's teams. I'm still getting my bearings
We
so
might need
good
to go
about
back to
doing
that
everything. We
again.
can look at somebody's team at the end,
Yeah,
maybe, and I
that's
can,
what I want to
if
do.
somebody wants, their team reviewed, anyone that's in the chat that happened to be in our draft or something, we can
Yeah, I
look
think
at.
that's a good idea. Let's take a look at that and go and circle back at the end.
I mean, we got some good stacks and stuff, so I'm just
Oh,
really
yeah.
happy, honestly, with our team overall. I
Mhm.
wish we'd gotten IU. No, but I mean,
For
we got Brissett stacked with Terry, and then we got Josh triple stacked, and
Oh, here we are.
pretty good with our. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, let's do it.
taking McBride and closing this
Absolutely.
out.
There we are with the
All
last,
right, and
not only
well,
our last pick, but the
we
last
can
pick.
go to the full draft. Do you want me to pull up the board,
Yeah, if
or
you
do you
would,
want
yeah,
to,
go ahead
or
and
we
pull forward,
can?
please.
And I'm not looking at the chat, so if there's anybody in there,
Pound says to peek. Yeah, he wants to see
yeah,
the board too.
I do want to see what Pound did. Okay, so he
Chase wants
started
to
off.
both those teams.
So he's probably mad at us for taking all his Cowboys.
Oh, he's a Cowboy fan too. Okay, all
Well, no,
right.
he just took Dak. I don't know if he's a
Oh,
Cowboy fan, but so he went back-to-back quarterback.
is there a way that we can put that draft board up? Is there any way we can do that?
Do you not see it?
No, I'm just still seeing the regular, just the where we were at previously. Fantasy dysfunctional welcomes getting roasted. Maybe we'll make that. Maybe we can do that a week. Everybody can just send in their drafts and we will happily just
What
roast
are
them.
you seeing?
So I am seeing right now it's got the draft order up top, just the regular screen with the
Okay, because I have
it
the
would be,
draft.
you know
Let
what?
me
You
see.
might
Well, I
be,
think when I click on it, hold on, because it
there
opens
you
a
go.
different board. Okay, now you see it?
I think
Okay,
if
I
you
did the
hit
same
that,
thing.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, I did that already, but
Oh, it
now I
went
just
to
have
a
it
new
open
screen.
twice.
Yeah, I think that went over to a new screen. So we may need to screen
Okay, so
share on
that's the
everybody.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we can do is just click on him, and then we can look at his team
Oh,
this way.
perfect. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Hold on,
fantasy
and I'll
dog
make
pound
this a little
here.
bigger. So, okay. So he took just two quarterbacks.
So he's got
That's
Watson and Dak
interesting.
Prescott. With his first, Watson was the first pick, followed by Prescott.
And then he took Chubb, so he's really in on Cleveland. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
nice little Cleveland stack. So then he's followed that up with Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris, Dalvin Cook, Khalil Herbert, Chase Brown.
He
Those
knows
are
I
his,
like Chase Brown.
that rounds out his running back room. As far as receivers,
We've got Mike Williams, and then he paired Dak with Cook, so he got a stack there.
triple stack.
And then he took Kadarius Toney, which I think Tony's got some upside, but there's
I do
always the risk
too.
of the injuries.
I think karma came after Tony real hard last year. So hopefully the karma gods are done with him after his injury in New York, and then faking that touchdown celebration in Kansas City. And then it was just all downhill for him after that.
Osborne's one of my favorite. I like Osborne and DPJ are both
Yeah.
two of my favorite late round picks, and so is Shaheed. And then he had Watson, so I really like the DPJ to stack
And
with him. But yeah, I mean, he waited a while on wide
did.
receiver, which I don't do, but the group he got still has good upside.
Exactly. And Tyler Boyd is just so consistent. I mean,
I
I'm
was
a
gonna
big Tyler
say,
Boyd
yeah,
fan.
he could
Mhm.
be like your guy to put up, and then okay, so he did double stack
Yeah.
at least out stack there. He got
Got
Gallup
Michael Gallup to
also,
round that out.
and then he's got a nice tight end room.
These are fun tight ends here. Always a big fan of Dallas Goedert for sure. The Trey McBride pick, I mean, what do we know about the injury with Ertz? Is he going to be playing right off the bat?
I mean, even if he is, he's old. Like,
Right,
how much
right.
more does he have? I mean, he's looked slow, and
Mhm.
Arizona doesn't have a lot right now. So,
No. Yeah. I like that tight end group. I like that tight end group a lot. All right,
yeah.
so Keith wants us to review his team.
What's his name?
Keith,
Fantasy
what is
fan
your name besides Keith O'Brien? What is your team
name.
name?
Underdog name.
Yes, what is your underdog name? Please post that in the chat and we will happily review / roast your team. He is K.O. O'Brien.
Oh, okay. Yes, I know you, Keith. Sorry, I'm not looking at the chat right now. So,
All right, here we go. So we've got your team pulled up, Keith.
ooh, he got
Ooh,
Mahomes. Nice.
ooh. So he drafted out of the second spot then. So he's got Mahomes. He's got the lovely and talented Jimmy Garoppolo also. And he's got Pro Bowler Snoop Huntley on his team, which I'm just going to continue to say for now until eternity because he's always a Pro Bowler from now on. A lot, I
I've
like it.
taken
You
some
got
Huntley.
Patrick Mahomes. You don't really need anybody else. So those two guys are just, there for bye
No,
week.
I mean you got Jimmy the consistent, and
Yeah,
Tyler Huntley if he actually can put up some numbers again. He did
yeah,
not do well last year, but the year before he had some big games.
exactly.
So
And who knows? He may be the starting quarterback in Baltimore for all we know.
he may be. I've taken him quite a bit in the
Yeah,
back half of some drafts where
absolutely.
I
I mean,
needed.
there are way worse guys that you can take besides Pro Bowlers, New Huntley. All right, guys. So running backs, he's got Saquon, Damian Harris, Devon Achane, Cordarrelle Patterson, and Jarrett McKinnon. I definitely like that Saquon pick a lot. I think the Giants need to figure out what they're going to do with him if he's going to sign that tag or not, but that doesn't have anything to do with best ball. So I like that group.
I
I
like
think,
that group a lot.
yeah, I think
As
Achane is so
long
fun.
as I mean he's so little and fast.
He is, right? He's little and fast. I think I'm going to really enjoy watching him on Sundays. And I think that's just one of those huge, like, he could have so much upside, especially in best ball, where you don't have to be concerned with starting him week to week, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
love that pick.
And I mean, I think Damian Harris is a good pick. I think he's going
Mhm.
to get some goal line,
Yes.
hopefully. Josh Allen might take a lot, and you know what? Cordell Patterson isn't going away
No,
because
he's a
he's going to be returning punts and stuff. So he's going to be on the team. He's going to be active on game day, and I think he's still going to get reps.
yeah, I mean,
McKinnon, I'm curious what's going to happen. I mean, he hasn't been signed anywhere, but I
he
think he's
hasn't.
still got a little bit left, maybe. We'll
Absolutely. I
see.
mean, especially in the role that he's been used in. So I had him in several places last year, especially towards the end of the season, once injuries, hit and, you're kind of scraping around to see who can start. I don't mind McKinnon at all. Oh, he's got my beloved Devontae Adams.
Yes, and he stacked that because he has Jimmy.
Yeah,
So I
that's
like
nice.
that pick. And then Debo has been there's been a lot of talk on Debo lately, going into this season, Do you
Yeah,
think he's due for some regression?
I probably so. I mean, I had Debo a couple years ago back when, he just his breakout year really. And ever since then it just really hasn't been the same. So no, thank you, Pound. Thank you for joining us tonight. He said thank you in the chat. So
Thanks,
uh,
Pat.
yeah. So Christian Kirk, Deontay Johnson, not a big Deontay Johnson fan, although I can't see how he doesn't have to get a touchdown this year. I mean,
Positive regression is the thing. Yeah.
it can't be worse than that. So, Mike Evans, I think, is sneaky. I mean, it seems like he and Chris Godwin both have been dropping so low because they've either got Baker or, Kyle Trask back there. But I mean, he's still Mike Evans. I think he still
And
has.
he's still in the red zone, and he's still
Yeah.
a huge target to
And at
hit.
that
I mean,
value, that's great value for him. So,
he's another one in best ball where you don't have to pick when to start him. So whenever he has that big game, you're fine.
yeah, no stress
Bateman,
there.
because he has Huntley is
Mhm.
nice. He double stacked. So are you a Vegas fan or just a Devontae Adams fan?
I've been a Devontae Adams fan. So I'm a Green Bay girl. I'm not from Green Bay at all.
Oh,
That's
no.
another storyline. But no, I've always Devontae is probably my favorite receiver. Especially right now. I think if I had to pick, probably Marvin Harrison overall, at least until his son gets in the league next year. But Devontae, gosh, I don't think there's a better receiver in the league right now. I really don't. I think that he's just so talented. I mean, maybe a better receiver, just team-wise on a better team or something like that. But gosh, Devontae is just so talented. And I don't care who is throwing the ball to him, how many guys are covering him. I don't care if the entire defense is on Devontae. You throw him the ball, he's coming down with it. I mean, it's just how it is. He's just such a great talented player. I could just go on and on. We could be here all night if you guys want me to talk about Devontae Adams, but just adore him.
No, I mean, I can't argue about the talent, the route running. I mean, he's amazing. He's a true talent.
And then
I have not taken any Boutte since
same
all the crap on him, basically.
Right.
I mean, I was taking some chances earlier, and he kind of took both controversial guys. He's got Quentin Johnson also, the body catcher.
Yeah. Quentin Johnson's not my fave. Yeah, same with Keyshawn Boutte. Fun name to say. I don't know that I want him on my draft.
Yeah, I mean, Boutte, I'm pretty out on after everything went down. I still think that Johnson could have a big ceiling. I want to believe, but he makes me nervous. I mean, we'll see.
Yes.
I'm hoping maybe he can get coached up.
Yeah.
To play a little bigger, but we'll see. Tight ends. Okay, so Andrews. I mean, we all saw Huntley and Andrews connection a while ago, so
yeah,
there could be some big games in there.
Sure.
Gesicki and
Austin Hooper. Gosh, I almost had forgotten that he went to Vegas.
I mean, he can still catch some touchdowns.
Yeah, he could. I mean, somebody's got to out there now. I mean, Waller's gone, so they've got a need out there for that. So maybe he and Jimmy will hit it off. I mean, maybe he'll be the Greg Kittle to Jimmy's Jimmy G in Vegas. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's Greg Kittle though. I mean, George Kittle. Wow, Greg Kittle.
I was like, is that a nickname?
It is. Yeah, it's my new nickname for him, guys. Wow, holy cow. No, George Kittle. Hello. Ay. All right. Okay, let's do one more and then we can call it.
Ask him what her underdog name is.
Yeah, so Fantasy Dysfunctional. Please do tell what is your fantasy team name? Let's see. Oh, at 11. Hello. They just said at 11 on there. So they were the 11th pick. So they're going to be right in front of Jorge and Fantasy Flames.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, did it kick you out?
No, I just scrolled. We're good.
All right. So Too Cool Rad. Here we go.
All right. So we got a 4-6-7-3 build, which that's my typical build in Superflex. I mean, that's probably the most balanced, if you don't get a really early running or a quarterback, probably taking those 4 and then taking the 6 and 7 and the 3 works well. Let's see. Russ Wilson, Ritter, Levis, and how do you feel about Zappy?
Zappy hour. I like Bailey Zappy. I think he's a fun player. I watched the video of him on draft day and it just warmed my heart. But as far as fantasy wise, I mean, I mean, I guess if they want to sit Mac Jones, let's say injury happens, something like that. Sure. I mean, take him as your fourth quarterback overall. It's not a bad pick, especially in best ball. So I don't have any issue with that. I think fourth is probably going to be that's the spot to do it. I think if you're going to take Bailey Zappi is going to be, if you're going to go with that many quarterbacks, I think that's probably where you'd want to take him. Curious to see about Will Levis. How do you feel about Will Levis? He's getting a lot of controversy now too, leading up into this draft.
I mean, he's not my favorite, but at the same time, if the NFL takes him over, gosh, can you believe that people are talking about him going over Stroud now?
Oh, I
I
know.
mean, if that happens, then I'm gonna listen to what the NFL says and the coaches,
Yeah.
even if he's not my favorite. I mean, he doesn't have the highest ceiling to me,
Right.
but I do have a lot of him from where he goes because I do think that if he goes to the right spot, he could start.
I agree. I think if he goes to the right spot, he could start. I'm wondering if all that smoke is coming from those thirst traps that he posted on Instagram and everybody's just getting excited and wants to talk about him more.
Well, he had the back thirst trap stuff, but then he had the weird things of him eating a banana like with full
Yes!
peels and
Oh, so bizarre.
having a fear of milk, and there's a bunch and the
I
mayonnaise.
know.
Did you see the
The
mayonnaise
mayonnaise
thing?
in the
Oh,
coffee, it's disgusting.
it was so gross.
I don't know how much of that, I wonder, is just to get more, like, in the news cycle. I mean, I don't understand why. If that is, I don't understand why he would need to do that. I mean, everybody's already talking about him anyway, but anyway, let's move on.
So then we got CMC. Hard to go
Yeah.
wrong there.
No, that's
And
great.
Walker, that's a strong.
That is.
Okay. I really love most. Okay, these are like
I like this
hashtag
room.
my guys.
Yeah,
I have a ton of Madison as well because I think that there's a good chance Cook
yeah.
gets cut.
Agreed,
And
agreed.
he's one of those guys that could really shoot up an ADP.
Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. As soon as we find out what's going on with Dalvin Cook, even without
I
Dalvin Cook.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
I
you're
like
a good
Roshan.
girl. Yeah, Roshan.
I mean, he's got good size.
Yeah,
That's the thing. A lot of these, rookie running backs are not that big, but the
right.
guys that could actually handle, 3 down
Mhm.
roll.
Handle that load, absolutely. And we got Raheem must start, like him there, especially in
I
pick.
take tons,
Yeah,
tons, tons of just with a lot of zero RB builds. I mean, him
exactly.
and I kind of alternate between him and Jeff Wilson,
Yeah.
but I think, he may not last the whole season, but it'll give you some good usable
Well,
weeks.
and that's the thing with all those guys there in Miami, right? I mean, at some
Yeah.
point, they're all probably gonna be starting. I think would have been nice if he could have gotten, a little bit of a handcuff there with CMC taking on maybe Elijah Mitchell. That would have been nice. That's what I'm trying to pair him with if I've got CMC, trying to grab one of their other guys a little bit later just because of, Shanahan and his shenanigans.
Yeah, I have no problem. I don't like to handcuff just for injury, but like in a
Mhm.
case of especially like San Francisco's backfield where they both have a role already,
Right.
I have no problem taking CMC and Elijah Mitchell, and I love doing it actually.
Yeah.
So I just like getting as many pieces of San Francisco backfield as possible.
100%.
So
All right. So,
let's look at
receivers.
these
We've got
receivers.
Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Jerry Jeudy, my beloved Sky Moore, Alec Pierce, Tyquan Thornton. Is his last guy?
Well,
Oh,
Mechie.
and John Mechie. Oh, well,
So
hopefully John Mechie plays this year.
he did have Russ. So we got the Denver
Yeah,
stack going.
exactly.
I liked Pierce. I had him in my queue.
Mhm.
We talked
Yep.
about liking Thornton.
Yep.
Do you think is this a safe space for you to be able to talk about Sky Moore?
I think I'm over it now. Yeah, so I definitely fell into the trap of Sky Moore last year of him getting hyped up and then not being what we had all hoped, at least dynasty wise. But he'll forever be redeemed. Whatever. He caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So honestly, if his career ended tomorrow, I'd say that he would have something to brag about for the rest of his life. And I think he'll have more of a role this year. I think he's kind of finally I think it took him a little while really to get acclimated in Kansas City. Um, they don't really have a ton of guys to impress other than Kelsey, right? As far as their receiver room. So
Yet.
there's
I mean,
right.
no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw that they were who was it? Was it Zay Flowers that they were working out
Yeah.
yesterday or
That's
today?
yeah, we saw him catching passes. Yeah,
Yeah,
Flowers from
something like
Mahomes.
that. So, potentially maybe, maybe they draft somebody, they come in and they take some of those, targets that are available for more. But I think his second year, I think he's going to redeem himself a little bit. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and not jump back on that hype train for Sky Moore. I'll never leave you, Sky. Don't worry. All right.
I had a lot of Sky, so I was definitely on the train as well, and I want to believe. We'll see. I'm not sure if I. Well,
Are you
sometimes
ready to get hurt
where
again?
he's going is just expensive.
Right.
If
I
he
agree.
drops a little bit, I'll be more in again.
Which I think is kind of weird, right? That he's still going so high even after last
Yeah.
season. So maybe everybody else is kind of thinking the same way we are, and they still have some love left for him. All right, who are his tight ends here?
Waller
Okay.
and Ingram, who I love Ingram. I mean, we saw what he did last year. They signed him. I think that's a great spot. And this one hurts me because I had so much Alberto
Me
last
too.
year. I believed, and I want to believe that maybe Sean Payton knows talent, and we'll see. And it was the
Yeah.
last coaching staff that just hated him for some reason. And then I could be wrong. Was there some Dolce could get traded
You know,
rumors
I
going
don't know.
around or something? I swore I heard that. I could be wrong.
I have not heard that, but that's entirely possible.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a big Greg Dulcich fan. I actually do have him on my dynasty team. But I did too. I also liked Alberto. I think he's talented. So, if they get out there, they use
Excuse me.
and again, just adding to that Denver stack. So, they're going to be a lot more competent offense under Sean Payton. So I expect better things from them this year.
Yeah, and he's got two other strong tight ends, so that's a spot I don't mind taking that kind of late chance, especially when you have the stack.
Exactly.
So I like all those teams that we reviewed, actually.
I do too. Yeah, I really like that, guys. I just want to say, thank you to everybody who joined in either in the comments or drafting or bowl tonight. Guys, so much fun.
Excuse me.
No problem. We are definitely going to be doing this again, guys. We're doing this every week. You can make sure to follow us over on Twitter. You can follow Stephanie over at @StephMiller57. You can follow me at Stacy_Perez83. Guys, don't forget, draft is coming up this week. We are going to be doing a live draft show covering that first round next Thursday. So make sure, come hang out with us on YouTube. Join in. We'd love to have you. Make sure to subscribe, like on YouTube. Thank you all so much for listening and participating. More drafts are coming every week. Good night, everybody.